we've had two others that were a couple from Brisbane who attended the Apollo restaurant in Sydney, came back from Sydney and self-isolated. So that is very good news about what that couple did, and it's a lesson to everyone about how we have to treat this very seriously. Yesterday, Queensland Health carried out more than 6,800 tests, and almost 1,000 of them were in the Metro South area. And the Deputy Premier and the Chief Health Officer will discuss that in a little bit more detail. But can I, from the outset, commend both health and the police for the rapid response that they have been deploying over the last 24 hours. This is exactly the scenario that we have been planning, and the rapid response is exceptional. So I just want to make a few comments to Queenslanders as well. During this time, we need to make sure that everyone is doing the right thing. We need to make sure that if you are sick, you are getting tested, and I want everyone to listen to Dr. Young. And if you are sick, stay at home. Do not go to work. It is absolutely vital. And you must keep up that social distancing. So if you are going to a shopping centre and you are seeing people not social distancing, you should leave. I mean, now is not the time to be in extremely large gatherings where people are not social distancing. We really want people to come and get tested, especially if they're in the Brisbane area, if they have any symptoms whatsoever. But we are in terms of what's happened overnight, that is the best scenario we could have hoped for after all of that testing was carried out. But of course, testing is indeed important. The Commissioner and the Deputy Commissioner will address the issues of the three women that were involved in coming back from Melbourne, so they will address that. And of course, we declared yesterday Greater Sydney a hotspot that will take effect from 1 a.m. Saturday. And I think you can see from the couple that have come back from that Apollo restaurant, that is definitely the right decision that we have made to protect Queensland and Queenslanders' health. So look, I'll hand over to the Deputy Premier to say a few more comments, and then Dr. Young, and then the Police Commissioner and our Deputy Police Commissioner. Stephen, thank you.
So the three additional cases of COVID-19 we're reporting here in Queensland today brings our total now to 1,082. 11 of those are active and 5 are in hospital. The 3 new cases are unrelated to the 3 cases that we reported yesterday. First, a man in his 20s who had returned from the United States and was in quarantine, and a couple who had eaten at the Apollo restaurant in Potts Point in Sydney, which is a known cluster, an identified cluster. They had chosen to self-isolate, and I thank them for that decision. It has kept Queenslanders safe. The fact that 2 of these 3 new cases came from Sydney, as well as the fact that 2 of the cases we reported yesterday had transited through Sydney, underlines how important it is that we have made that decision to declare Greater Sydney as a hotspot. It will allow us to control cases returning from Sydney where we know there are outbreaks. So that means it was the right decision. I want to thank the 979 people in the south side of Brisbane who went and got tested yesterday. That's a 4-fold increase in the average number of tests we normally do in Metro South, and it is exactly how we will ensure that we do not have community transmission from the cases there. 255 of those were tested at the school where we know one of those active cases had been. There are now 6 locations in Metro South where people can get tested. We tested 6,826 people yesterday, and all of the other tests were negative. That really is the best we could have hoped for in the first 24 hours of our rapid response to those new cases, and we would certainly hope to see another 24 hours like that. A lot of tests. If there is anyone else out there who has been infected, we want to find them. There are 94 aged care facilities in the south side of Brisbane that are now locked down to visitors until we ensure that there is no risk of them being infected. Police believe that they have now identified all 3 Queenslanders who were at that party in Melbourne. That is, we don't think there are any others. We've now translated the health advice from yesterday into 10 different languages. The Chief Health Officer has met with community leaders, multicultural leaders. We want to ensure that everyone in Queensland, no matter where they are, what community they identify with, what language group they identify with, that everybody in Queensland knows what they can do to keep themselves and their community safe. First and foremost, that is go and get tested. If they have any doubt at all, any reason at all, they should go and get tested. We are just beginning to hear reports out of Victoria that they may have a record number of cases to report today, and so we continue to monitor what's happening in other states very carefully, but it underlines how now is not the time to travel. Any travel that can be avoided should be avoided. We want to do everything we can to keep Queenslanders safe.